Can you all hear me? Yeah, another day, another time. It's Monday, the 27th of October, 2025. I mean, the year is really coming to a fast close. Let me just stop this one so we can go on to what's been happening. So I thought I would actually be online yesterday. I tried all I could to actually stream, but I was just having so much bug with the system. I did shut down the whole streaming platform, and then tried to just reload again and see if it's gonna work. There's this new update that OBS, one of the plugins that OBS uses, they did make an update. It was I think this ATOM streaming stuff. So they brought this new development where everybody thought, okay, fine, if I could get this, I'm good. So what happened was that I had downloaded the new product a while ago. And it was really like this is gonna be good because you can see your chart, you can see everything come up online, while you're streaming. And one of the challenges I've had in the past was the fact that I couldn't even see what people are saying when I stream. So at times I've raised some points where people will be like, I disagree with you, what you're talking doesn't make sense, you have a wrong analogy and all that, which is fine. I mean, it's what it is. But again, I don't see those at times until after the stream or even while I'm done for the day. So I tried to put that in. Man, when I got to the point where I loaded it, the whole thing just went down. Like I couldn't even go online, I couldn't even stream, I couldn't do anything. So I said, you know what? I'm going to just uninstall this new application, and then just once I did that, then the whole OBS thing would just also got crashing down and all that. So I had to get out the whole platform, and then here we are again. There were a lot of news that happened last week, over the weekend, new updates and the like, the coup attempt, Nnamdi Kanu's trial, that's also ongoing, and the old debacle about his lawyer being arrested, where he is now taking the stand and trying to defend himself. So there's a lot of things to go on. I'm not going to be here for long. I'm just going to just do a quick update, and then once that is done, I will be just signing off for the day, and hopefully tomorrow I'll get a better time to talk about it. One of the things also that happened over the weekend was Nwoko. He's been in the news for a while. He's had a lot of saga, with respect to the drama that is happening. Just shortly after I became the awarded the outstanding senator for the year. It's just surprising that they gave him that award just shortly before, like just into the fourth quarter. I thought most of this award comes towards the end of the year or very early the following year, but it is what it is. I mean, we know how this award works. Again, most times you have a lot of people try to lobby for it, and just for them to be able to, to get the award and to show that they're doing something. Yeah. So that being said, I went on Kimbalo's program yesterday, and he had some things to say. I'm just gonna play that, and then I'll
on the
react.
floor of the Senate, and you have argued with your colleagues the need for an anonymous state, and don't even begin the conversation around marginalization, because that's the first thing. Because people will say we have Southwest 6 states, South 6 states, Northeast 6 states, North Central 6 states, Northwest 7 states, but Southeast 5 states. Is that part of the agenda to fix the Southeast that seems to be smaller in terms of the number of states, or what?
Again, I don't understand the framing of this question. In my own opinion, with respect to state creation and state, is this: if a state can't really afford to run on its own, if you take the oil revenue out, then they have no business being called a state. The best thing to fix this whole problem is for us to go back to the point where we have the regional government, and each region, which is clearly demarcated, can actually run its own course the way it seems. Because it's quite unfortunate that we had that region, and each region were competing with each other, and people were getting things done. Then in the Southwest, it could be, okay, this is what we want to do, free education for all. And then you had the Cocoa House. All of those things, Nigeria was, each region were developing based on their own potentials as at that time. Then, the military happened, and then you have all this question and everything, the old regional government thing went off. And then we're brought to this 36 states, which Two-thirds of most of the states can't even function. I have all these politicians, all they do is to steal money, especially the state governors. I'm so happy right now that for the past, immediately Tinubu took out the subsidy. I expected, and then you had the revenue of the state increase. I expected more scrutiny going to the state. But we all love to, show that we're working or we're trying to do something by just attacking the federal government. I'm not saying you shouldn't attack. I'm not saying you shouldn't criticize Tinubu's government. But a lot of these states are not even viable. And that's the reality. So now we're talking about creating more states. And my question is, how would that help the common man? Because this third thing is just more of a group of elites still trying to siphon money for themselves. But again, let me hear what he's going to say.
Well, almost just over a year ago, I had a meeting with the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where I discussed about the problems of Southeast, the insecurity in Southeast. What do we do to address it? And he knows the problems, and he also has an idea. The whole idea is that there should be some level of equity extended to the Igbos of Southeast by having an additional state. It wasn't going to be an easy task, to create one, but it is doable. And I'm happy that we have come this far. The point is this: even at that time, it was understood that the problems of Southeast, the agitations of the youths of Southeast, the killings there, the referring to the ESN groups and ESN and IPOB and the rest of them. These are young people who have come up to say that they are fighting for freedom because they are marginalized. And one of the areas that they've all spoken about and against is the fact that they are the only zone. Southeast is the only zone in Nigeria that has 5 states.
That has nothing to do with the killings in the Southeast. What are your politicians doing? Thank God we have Abia State, where the guy is now trying to do some projects. I mean, after a lot of abandonment for years. Thank God we have some people doing something in Enugu State. There is a little bit of an action. To be honest with you, throughout the PDP years, I really didn't see any viable development that happened in a lot of the Southeast states. And a lot of states also. I mean, not just Southeast, but I'm just saying the discussion now is on Southeast. I don't see.
Why is that? Why was it done intentionally to undermine them? Of course, yes. And
again, was it done intentionally to undermine them? What is the landmass? What is the landmass of the Southeast region compared to other regions? Because we all just say, one state. The whole Nigeria is not up to the biggest state in the US. The whole Nigeria is not more than 3 states in the US, to be honest with you. And you don't even want to talk about Canada in terms of landmass. Canada's landmass is so massive that people are even dispersed all around, and there are only 15 provinces. And when you look at the provinces, by the time you take 4 or 5, I mean, that's the big bulk. So creation of states is not the solution to what is really happening, and creation of states is not what is marginalizing people. Because when you create that state again, within the state, you're going to have different people with different thoughts, thinking, oh, it's my own turn to be the governor today, or it's not your turn to be the governor. This is how we're going to do the politics. It's just unfortunate that that's the politics that we play in Nigeria as of today. So again, not having the number 6 states is not what is marginalizing the Igbos. I mean, to talk about different things, but not because there is no 6 state. The 5 states, have they been able to, accomplish whatever it is that has been set out for it to accomplish? Are those states viable?
Engaging those youths, it became so obvious that if a step is taken in creating one state, just one state, to bring it apart with the 5 other zones. Let's leave Northwest out of this now. At least bring it apart to the 4 other zones. Then something would have been done for them. Yes, they are clamoring for different things, but I mean, not least, of course, the release of Nnamdi Kanu. They're asking for it. We know that is something that has to be done. You will just say
Nnamdi Kanu to be
oh yes, yeah, of course.
Why do you think so?
Nnamdi Kanu has been in custody for some time now. I believe that he has been held unjustly. Many people feel that way.
As a lawyer, do you think so?
Oh yes, yes.
That the judicial process is unjust?
Yes. Yeah, no, it has been. There's a lot of delays in prosecuting him and all that. If you want to get him tried and convicted, get on with it. But this is a guy who has been held unjustly, as I said, for so many months.
And the Buhari government started
I'm not talking about this government.
Trial. No, so the point I'm even making now...
I'm talking about the previous government under Buhari.
When it's facing a judicial process right now.
Yes.
Saying it's unjust because the argument is that there should be a political solution, maybe a null prosecution. Prosecution should be established on that for the case to be withdrawn. But there are those who say, well, there are allegations and it's left for the law for him to have his day in court, which is in process.
But as you know, there have been some pronouncements by the Federal High Court, which has not been respected. So his incarceration is the main reason for the crisis in Southeast.
But the crisis started before he was even arrested.
No.
The killings, the burning of police station, the killing of police officers and all whatnot.
Well, look, the problem in Southeast is very different from what is in the Northeast or Northwest and all those areas. The problem in the Southeast has to do with the perceived injustice by governments, successive governments. So what needs to be done? And one of
Let's see. Oh, sorry.
it's why I'm here today. Talking about the creation of states to make up the number up to 5, and then you have the release of Nnamdi Kanu. By the time you do these 2 things, I am almost certain that peace will return to Southeast.
Let me ask you this question, Senator.
I have spoken to so many youths in from Southeast, and they have assured me that that they are prepared to be engaged by us, by the leadership. When this is done,
Yeah, and I think the issue with Nnamdi Kanu and all whatnot is that a lot of politics has been played there. There's a lot of politics, and I'm not going to be the one to sit down here and say that he's been treated fairly. But again, that being said, the whole Southeast has been put into a lot of crisis, also just because of not using. I agree, you could have agitation all you want, but there should be a level of wisdom. You can't start killing your people due through various pronouncements, stay at home, kill federal government officer, unalive them and all that, and think that the federal government won't fight back. But I also understand the double standard, because you can imprison Nnamdi Kanu, right? And then you're on the other hand, you're negotiating with terrorists, real terrorists, bombing people, burning houses, killing people, going to churches, ransacking churches, killing priests, kidnapping priests. So again, if you're gonna say you want to actually, crucify Kanu because of his agitation, then let us see the real standard. Don't let it be that there's a double standard somewhere. And that's what is really happening right now. I'm not of the opinion that, oh, this guy, the kind of guy should go scot-free given the havoc that has been done in the Southeast. But again, the other side of me is saying that, hey, what is happening in the North? You're integrating them into the society. So why are you not having that same plan for the Southeast? Again, that's it. Assuming that there is the northern terrorists and bandits are facing the severe hand of the law and serious threat of the law, and then again, I agree. Then let it.
They don't want to die.
What it is.
The youths don't want to die. They want to go back to schools. They want to go back to their jobs. All they want is some level of respect and acknowledgement by the nation, by the government of Nigeria. I want to ask you, and
okay, so that's it. That's not about that for him, and so he's calling that the Kanu should be released, and we'll see how that goes
on the floor of the Senate. You have argued with your colleagues the need for.
Sorry, but it is what it is. We're gonna move on,
and don't even begin the conversation.
Let me close this one. So again, with respect to the states, I don't see how that is something that should be the real solution to the Southeast problem. I think the problems, the crisis is more deep than just creating another state. So you give them another state, then what happens? Nothing. Okay, there's a good news here. Dangote announces expansion of Lagos Refinery to 1.4 million barrels per day. Wow, that's a good news for anyone that really likes Nigeria or loves Nigeria. Aliko Dangote has revealed the plan at a Lagos press conference to double the petroleum refinery capacity from 650 to 1.4 million barrels per day within 3 years, surpassing India's world largest. So once that happens, it becomes the #1 refinery in the world. I mean, you can't hate this country. And if you can sustain that for another 2 to 3 years, you know what happens? We'll become a massive player in the global economy. That's how it works. Yeah, you may have your own personal, disgruntlement, if there's any word like that, with how, the whole thing was orchestrated, how it was executed. I mean, in the context of Nigeria and the mismanagement that we saw, during the Buhari years in terms of fiscal and monetary policies, I think this might be one of the good things that actually came out of it. And you don't need to like Dangote, you don't need to like this thing, because now the pressure becomes less. Then we can now end. If one man can do this, private citizen, then there's no excuse. Each state should be able to, develop based on its capacity. And, Dangote is now too big to fail. Unfortunately, or fortunately for him, Dangote is now too big to fail. And that's what it is. Okay, so yeah. 20 billion project will create 65,000 jobs. Double polypropylene. I don't know if I get that one correct. Production to 2.4 million. Let's see.
150 under the direction of His Excellency, Mr. President. The key announcement today is that we're expanding the Dangote refinery. We're announcing it officially. We're expanding the Dangote refinery from our 650,000 barrels per day to 1.4 million barrels per day. Actually, we're even a bit late because we had to sign the agreement with the technology licensor, which we're actually expanding this. We've been doing that meeting since 8 o'clock. So upon completion of this will make it the largest refinery in the world ever. That is surpassing the Jamnagar Reliance refinery in India. This expansion reflects our confidence in Nigeria's future, our belief in Africa's potential, and our commitment to building energy independence for our continent and the world. It is also about confidence in Nigeria, confidence in the leadership of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, confidence in Africa, and in our capacity to shape our own energy future. why expansion matters. Of course, it is the dream of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for Nigeria to emerge as one of the major suppliers of petroleum products in Africa and part of the world. And with this strong backing through previous stated policies, we are now taking this challenge to make this happen. Responding to rising regional demand and reducing import dependence. You know, there's quite a lot of demand really within the African region, especially West Africa and East Africa. Saves and generates billions in dollars and strengthens the Nigeria's energy security. With this expansion, we will require over 65,000 workers during the construction. Such a project will actually further unlock opportunities for local industries, just as we did in the last trajectory. Reinforces Africa's capability to build and manage world-class infrastructure.
Okay, Joe, so that's it. I think that's the one that I could get from that snippet. And this is good. Now, what I also want is to have other players come in, because we cannot just rely on one person. We can't rely on just one person to serve, the whole thing, because then it becomes really an issue of trust. It becomes an issue of trust. But again, I'm all for this project. Isn't it better to buy NNPC refineries than to expand? No, it is not. It's not better to buy the NNPC.
Once we touch them, then you hear a lot of noise. There are other people with a lot of money, maybe more cash than we have, that we believe they should go and try their own luck, so that there won't be talk about monopoly. There will be talk about other people having
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about, right? Because if he has that and then you're asking him he should go buy NNPC, then it becomes, is it the only player? And then there'll be issue of trust, and which I think the government actively should work to not allow to happen, okay? Because you don't want issues with trust, you don't want issues with monopoly. I think it should be a market where you have demand and supply, so that if Dangote wants to bring his own iPhone 17 from X out thing, there will be another player that will come in. You don't need anybody to shout about that. I just digress, but that's what I'm talking about. That other players should get into the race. Other players should also be part of the whole
opportunities. And I think you have a group like the Dapman, they should go and buy some of the refineries if they are for sale. If they are not for sale, then they should actually go and put on their own refinery. It's better when you are playing football, it's better for everybody to play football, not somebody playing football, some people playing cricket. So I think it is by far better for other people to go and buy. So we will not be the only ones supporting this Mr. President's policy. At least there's now support from His Excellency the President, also supporting this sector to refine all our crude into petroleum products. And I think other people too, they should take this opportunity. For us, we already have our own infrastructure, and we want to remain where we are, to double our capacity rather than going somewhere to this. And plus, we already designed it that way anyway. It's just that we say, okay, fine, let us start. If the condition, if the condition is conducive, we go ahead and double our capacity, and that's what we are doing. We're actually more than doubling a bit. We're going to 1.4 million from 650,000.
That's quite cool, and that's
so. I think there are 30 people that have there are 30 people that have this sort of idea of either working in partnership with the NNPC to revive those refineries, which will help. all of us will have to contribute our own quota to be able to achieve that $1 trillion economy. It doesn't come that easy. So we are doing our own, and I believe other people too, they should do their own.
Just pick up one of the moribunds.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's the call here. I don't think Dangote should even try to move near NNPC because they're just gonna mess him up. Yeah, they're gonna mess him up, right? Because I mean, it's become too difficult to to work on, and he has also made attempts in the previous times to buy it and revitalize and make it work, but people don't really want him to go in. So other people should go in, and we'll see what happens. And 15 talking points: historic expansion, government support, policy impact, crisis revolution, vision alignment, economic benefit. You have job creation, you have Africa capacity, you have petrochemical growth, you have environmental standards, okay, energy self-sufficiency, local content commitment, future ownership plans, product availability assurance, and finally you have continental vision. If Dangote can actually achieve this, then Africa becomes a big refining hub. According to him, Africa built its own capacity, it built its own destiny. That's just one man. That's just one man. And I believe that the state governors too, like, you can make your state to become a bigger hub that serves the continent. It doesn't have to be just for the federal government or alone, or just Dangote pushing this vision. And it's a good news for me. Let's forget about all the noise that we hear. This is something that you can actually celebrate. We also expand our polythene production. Sorry. This is what we're trying to do, is replicate another line. This will give us better security, so that even if you're going to shut down the refineries for 40 days, at least 50% of the refinery will still work. Dangote added that it will not reveal how much it will cost him to expand the refinery for now because of internal and external competitors. Let me
two people too, they should do their own. We have a lot of competitors, both internal, external, and cost.
What's this? Sorry about that.
So I don't want to, release that.
And again, the thing about internal and external competition is that it becomes, a little bit of a point of a benchmark. Or you say you're going to develop
that information at the moment, but we have our own costing and we know what it will cost us.
Okay, that's fine.
That's number one. Number two,
this is not good. This is not good.
In terms of what was the other question? Oh, okay, no, timelines. Let me talk about the single train. Like right now, when you talk about a single train, there are other departments. For example, now, even when our RFCC is down, for example, we still produce, gasoline. It's not that we're totally off, but we might not produce maybe 40 million, we'll produce maybe 28, 30 million, depending. We have different departments that we can do. The only thing that if our RFCC is down, for example, we cannot produce fully, is the polypropylene. So it's not that the whole plant is down. So what we are trying to do is to replicate another, line. By replicating another line, it has even given us a guarantee, because the current refineries, when you build them, you don't shut them down for maintenance for 5 years. So this one will give us a better security. So even if we are going to shut down for 40 days, it means that at least 50% of the refinery will work. We don't have to service them department by department. Listen, and we don't have to build a port anymore. We already have the port. So it will take us a very short period of time. Design, we have most of it, because we built one before. And then so we only need to do some few other things. These were the things that we did this morning before coming to meet with you guys.